Well, I have got some exciting news, and that is I'm kind of freaked out about this, but I heard yesterday, brain to brain, that Jesus has officially added my Bible for Tribulation Saints to the canon. And I got to admit that I kind of like, I don't know, you might say, how do you feel about this? It's like I'm I'm actually a pretty humble and meek person. And when I first compiled Bible for Tribulation Saints, my whole purpose for doing it was because I would forget what Jesus told me when he was speaking to me through Brent Spiner, and I would end up disobeying him because I forgot what he told me. So I put it together to give myself reminders of what he said so that I wouldn't disobey him. And in the process, I ended up writing Bible. Yeah, man. It's like, wow, it's like I believed it could be true because I thought Jesus was through speaking to us in 2017. Then he showed up again and spoke to us again in 2019. And he's been speaking to us a lot in 2020. That's because I've been goofing up a lot in 2020. So he's been speaking up a lot in 2020. So finally, I said, well, you know what? I said, he can't be adding to the canon. There's no way he would use me, some sinful woman who he constantly has to correct, to add to the canon a book that's even larger than the Bible itself now. It's bigger than the Bible. Yeah. When I finished it in 2017, I advertised it as being the size of the Bible. Well, it's no longer the size of the Bible. It's bigger than the Bible. So it's like I'm thinking, no way, Lord, would you use me to write a book that's bigger than the Bible? But yes, it appears that he has. And what's so ironic is Jesus is full of surprises. So I made a blog post where I stated, I don't think Jesus is. I have doubts now whether he's really added to the canon because, well, because it's bigger than the Bible now, and he wouldn't use me to write something to the, add something to the canon that's bigger than the Bible. And it was really funny. Right after I said that, I got a brain to brain communication. And I got to admit, brain to brain's not always accurate, but this one seems accurate. And Brent told me, Gail, you're not going to believe this, but Jesus has been he's met with every single professor at Dallas Theological Seminary. And he's had a long conversation with some of those that have had some doubts about whether Bible for Tribulation Saints has been added to the canon. And he convinced everyone at Dallas Theological Seminary that Bible for Tribulation Saints is an addition to the canon. And they've all signed a sworn statement, all of them, all the professors at Dallas Theological Seminary, stating that they believe that Bible for Tribulation Saints is an addition to the biblical canon. Now that's a big deal. Dallas Theological Seminary is a respected seminary among evangelicals. So I thought, wow, if this is true, he says not only that, he wants everybody to know what's in Bible for Tribulation Saints so bad. Now, this may not be true, and I may end up making a correction video later, that he's given everybody a free Kindle with Bible for Tribulation Saints on it if they don't already have a Kindle, on the condition that they promise to read a certain amount from Bible for Tribulation Saints every week. If they don't keep their promise, he's going to zap the Kindle away from them. They're going to lose the free Kindle. I think he's even offered them some reparation money too. It's like he wants everyone to have this for free. So I'm thinking, well, I guess I won't be making a profit off of this book, but then I never wrote it for money anyways. I just wanted to get God's truth out there. What he told me, I figured what he told me, the rest of the world probably needs to know about too. The only exception is the past couple months. He told me some stuff that he said I need to keep secret. So what I did was for my own records, I made the latest in Bible for Tribulation Saints, what he said in the past 2 months, I've put into a Kindle book, but I haven't published it yet. And I'm not going to publish it until it's safe for me to do so. Right now, There's some stuff in there that I don't think Jesus wants me to let out right now, but my men have it. And what I hear is that my men have been giving that free copy to everybody at Church of Gale. So now everybody at Church of Gale has, I'm able to get a Mobi file or a Kindle file for, I know how to make my own Kindle file, my own Mobi file. And what I do, that's the file they use in Kindle, so that you can read the book on Kindle and go to the table of contents and then click and go right to the chapter and all that. I know how to do that. So I send my men the Mobi file, even if I haven't published it yet. So far, Bible for Tribulation Saints, the Kindle version that's from 2012 to 2020 is up to date up to 2 months ago. But the last 2 months, like I already told you, I can't publish that right now because Jesus has told me to keep it secret. Except I did publish some of it at my website, and I'll have a link to that underneath this video. So, but I hear Jesus has been meeting with people. Jesus wants everybody to know what's in Bible for Tribulation Saints. And I hear yesterday he officially added it to the biblical canon. And he's been meeting with some Christian leaders who have a problem with it, who believe the canon is closed. And to be honest with you, I myself really respect these teachers because I believe the canon is closed, except for Bible for Tribulation Saints. So I think the safest view to have on the biblical canon is, yes, the canon is closed, except for Bible for Tribulation Saints. Okay? That's the safest, purest way to view the Bible. You might say, well, how can we believe that you're not a crazy woman? I'm not going to go into it. The people who've been following me know that I've been dealing with the real Jesus. And all I can say is, if you do not know the contents of what's in Bible for Tribulation Saints, you will end up following Satan. That's how good Satan is right now. I mean, Satan has been using Lori McBride to get everybody all riled up about the coronavirus, and Jesus did make some comments about the coronavirus. And that's how good he is. Satan's a master deceiver. If you do not know what's in Bible for Tribulation Saints, you will end up following Satan. I'm pretty sure of it. That's how good Satan is right now. Basically, what is in Bible for Tribulation Saints is all the stuff that's been broadcast on Gabriel Chana Fox News from 2012 to now. All the major news items that you're not getting in mainstream news, but you should be getting in mainstream news, they're in Bible for Tribulation Saints. So I've actually made a coronation page where I celebrate the fact that it has been added to the canon. I made it yesterday with music and everything, but you need a password to go into it. That password is Bible, capital B-I-B-L-E. Just type in capital B, and then little letters for I-B-L-E, and you're in. Okay, that's the password. I'll have the password in the description underneath this video too. So that's the password to get in. Okay, I have a coronation page where I dedicate it to the fact I'm kind of freaked out about this. I mean, the reason I'm freaked out about it is because Bible for Tribulation Saints is now longer than the Bible. It's like, oh, come on, God, you wouldn't use me to write something to the Bible. That's law. I mean, you're making me a Bible writer that's made in addition to the biblical canon that's longer than the Bible itself? No human should have that honor. I'm too sinful for this. But, it's really funny because I'm in the part of the Bible where I'm reading about Moses in Exodus, where he's given the timing on everything in my life is uncanny. I happen to be in my Bible reading from Genesis to Revelation in the book of Exodus, where Moses is giving the 10 Commandments to Israel. You realize Moses wrote more Bible than any other Bible writer. So I don't think that's a coincidence. And then yesterday I hear brain to brain that Yeah, he's given everybody a free Kindle on the condition that they read Bible for Tribulation Saints, and even some money to help them with any financial difficulties they've had because of the coronavirus. But he says, I'll take the money away if you stop reading the Bible for Tribulation Saints. So that's what he's telling them. Now, that may not be true. And I think they also have to keep it secret too. So they probably aren't going to be writing me and telling me, oh, we got ourselves a free Bible. Maybe they don't have to keep it secret. I don't know. Jesus is funny because he'll do some things, and sometimes he say, I want you to, sometimes he'll say, I want you to talk about it, and other times he'll say, I don't want you to talk about it. So you just got to do whatever he tells you to do. You may say, how do you feel about everybody getting a free version of your Bible for Tribulation Saints? Jesus will take care of his writer. In fact, I think some of these people have been objecting. They said, Jesus, this isn't very fair to your writer. She needs to eat and everything. And Jesus said, don't worry. Don't worry, I got it covered. I'm going to take care of my writer. I want you to have this free, and I want to give you some help right now with all this coronavirus craziness, but on the condition, you might say, well, isn't that a violation of Jesus's non-interference agreement? Because he's interfering so much. Actually, Jesus has a non-interference agreement with Satan, because Satan impersonated Jesus and made love to me through Zach Knight and impregnated me with black devil semen. This was in February 2012. So Jesus said, oh, Gail, I can't appear to you personally because Satan will impersonate, and then you're going to get in big trouble. So he says, I've made a non-interference agreement with Satan where he is not allowed to make personal appearances to you anymore. And if he does, I'm allowed to go in there and beat him up. And I believe Satan has violated the non-interference agreement, and that's why he's got everybody all riled up about this coronavirus, and he's causing the economy to go crazy. And Jesus said, don't worry about it. He said the economy is going to bounce right back. And I've kind of wondered about that. Is Jesus going to give Trump some money or something? I don't know. But I am hearing brain to brain that yesterday, that Jesus has been meeting one-on-one with people all over the world, like billions of people, giving them a free Kindle with Bible for Tribulation Saints on and some little extra money to help out with all the financial problems they're having because of Lori McBride and Satan's coronavirus craziness. And he says, I'll let you keep the money. And I'll let you. Now, I don't know if this is true. This may not be true, though, the part about the money. But I do believe it's true that he's given out free Kindles with free Bible for Tribulation Saints on it, and saying, I'll let you keep the Kindle if you promise to read Bible for Tribulation Saints. This is how bad he wants people to read what's in it. And like I told you, if you don't know what's in it, you're going to sin. You're going to follow Satan. You say, how do you know that? Because I am his favorite, and I know if I didn't know what was in Bible for Tribulation, I'd be following Satan right now. I know I would be. If I didn't know what is in Bible for Tribulation Saints, I would be following Satan right now. And I am his favorite. So if I know I would be following Satan, if I wasn't reading Bible for Tribulation, I'm sure you guys would be doing the same or worse. You might say, what makes you so special? Well, I believe, they have a lot of spiritual gifts. I believe I have the gift of discernment of spirits. And even with my spiritual gift of discernment of spirits, if I didn't know what was in Bible for Tribulation Saints, I know I would be following Satan. I know that. And what's really ironic is Jesus has spoken to me in Bible for Tribulation Saints, and I have forgotten some of what he said to me. That's why I made it, to have myself a record of everything he said. And if I forget when Jesus has spoken to me, what about you guys out there who've never had Jesus speak to you? I mean, like he has me. You might say, well, Jesus isn't doing visions right now. I agree with you. You got to be careful with visions. I agree with you. It's very dangerous, especially now as we're getting close to the tribulation. I haven't had any visions. All I have is a record of all my Skype conversations and email conversations with my men when Jesus has spoken to me through them. And that's what is in Bible for Tribulation Saints. There are no visions in there unless he gave my men a vision and they told me about their vision. but I myself have not had any visions. Okay? Jesus won't give me visions. It's too dangerous. Satan is obsessed with me. Apparently, Satan knew that I'd be adding to the biblical canon, which is why he attacked me from my birth. Well, he knew somebody with the genes of King David, I'm literally half King David, would be a very important person in God's plan. And now it's all starting to make sense. Because Jesus when he first showed up, I said, Jesus, why are you showing up to me, a woman? Aren't you supposed to be working with men? And then Jesus said, Gail, I used my mother Mary, didn't I? That was his answer to me. And then he says, oh, so Gail, you're a lot more important than you know. That was his answer to me. And I thought, yeah, I don't get it. I don't think I'm that important. He says, and he constantly reminds me that I'm his favorite. You might think, why? It's starting to make sense now. If he wants everybody to read Bible for Tribulation Saints, and Satan is trying to discredit me as the crazy lady, then he obviously needs to go out of his way to let people know that I am a reliable source of information about him. And that's why he keeps calling me his favorite. The reason I'm his favorite is because I'm a Bible writer. And he wants everybody to know that. Yeah. He doesn't want you following every Dick, Joe, and Harry out there and saying, oh, you had a vision from Jesus, so I need to follow you. No, that's dangerous. Like I said before, this is the safest course. The canon is closed from Genesis to Revelation, except for Bible for Tribulation Saints. Nothing else is reliable. Jesus has personally met with Brent Spiner. For years, Brent Spiner has gone out to lunch with Jesus. He shows up in his resurrection body. And I'm as surprised as some of you are. I didn't think Jesus would be making appearances. But apparently, as we get close to the tribulation, he's changing the way he's communicating with mankind. He wants to give the world a little extra help to deal with the tribulation. This makes total sense because the tribulation is a very bad time. So anyways, folks, I've got some links underneath this video. My coronation page, check it out. The password is Bible. And I'm also going to have, she's dropping bombs over me. That horrible Lori. Satan is really upset because she's dropping a blitzkrieg of bombs over me and getting me congested and everything. I can't stand her. I can't wait till we defeat her. Lord. Lori McBride has Antichrist power. She literally meets with Satan. That's why we can't get rid of her. She's got Antichrist powers. You can't kill the Antichrist until he fulfills biblical prophecy. You might say, she's a woman. I know. Actually, if you read Bible for Tribulation Saints, it'll go into all that. I have a feeling there's going to be some transgender stuff going on with the Antichrist. So anyways, he'll be a man, but that doesn't mean he can't be a woman right now. He could be a woman now and become a transgender man, Antichrist, during the tribulation. We're not in the tribulation yet. So check the links underneath this video. Coronation page. I'm also going to have a link. You might say, well, how should I interpret the Bible? If you are a Bible writer, then you're a reliable source of information on how to interpret the Bible, like which religious group out there is closest. The person who is closest to my theology is Dr. Andy Woods. He's a graduate of Dallas Theological Seminary. He's a traditional dispensationalist, and he does not believe in replacement theology. Replacement theology is the view that the church has replaced Israel, which is not correct. Israel and the church have different programs, and the church has not replaced Israel. So anybody who's teaching that they're off. So it's kind of a complex subject, and Jesus wants me to be patient with people that are in error, like he was patient with me when I was a King James Bible only fanatic, So everybody grows at their own pace, and if somebody's a little off doctrinally, we need to be loving and patient with them and let them grow at the pace that God wants them to grow. Okay. But if you want to know what my theological views are, I will have a page underneath this video. I once asked Jesus which church group is closest to him, and he said that Christians have more in common than they have differences. That was the answer he gave, and I think it's because he doesn't want us to go into theology. Jesus hates it when we argue with each other over doctrine. He doesn't like that. It's okay, like if somebody asks you a question about doctrine, to let them know what your positions are, but he doesn't like it when we start getting into debates about this stuff and getting nasty and all that and thinking we're superior because we're more right than other people. It's more important than being more right than other people is having an open heart. Okay? That's the main thing. Keep your heart open to Jesus. Don't be a closed-minded follower. He doesn't like that. And even if you are more theologically correct than other people, that doesn't necessarily mean you are more spiritual than those other people. Spirituality is a complex topic. It involves more than just being right doctrinally. It involves having an open heart, a heart that's open to truth, open to correction from the Holy Spirit and from the Lord, and a willingness to stay on God's path, even if you don't understand it all. It's trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. But he doesn't want you to have like a blind faith where you just trust anything and everything and think it's from the Lord. And that's why you need to know what's in Bible for Tribulation Saints. Bible for Tribulation Saints will give you spiritual discernment for our times so that you won't be tricked by the devil. Okay? And I think that's why Jesus wants everybody to know that he has added it to the canon. Because like I said, if you do not know what's in this book, you will end up following Satan.